So if you look, April 8th, and the solar eclipse has all kinds of different interpretations around it. Now, there are some strange coincidences, like there are 7 towns named Nineveh that the solar eclipse goes through. I mean, this is by coincidence, right? Coincidence. Come on, people. 7 of them. Now, how many years ago was the last eclipse? 7 years ago. Oh, that's a coincidence too. Now, there's some cool stuff I got from Archaix on this, and I'm going to have a clip from him. But there's another part that just really got me, and that has to do with the last solar eclipse and this solar eclipse and the X that it forms. And the town that it forms around, guess what? That same town is the one that produced the procedure that we all had to get during a certain time frame.
The middle eclipse that nobody's talking about is the one that helps you decipher everything else. Here it is. 12/14/20. That's the day from Chesterfield, Missouri, which is the center of both eclipses. Here it all is right here, guys. We live in a construct. Construct is telling us exactly what the players are.
Or we're supposed to get. All right, so coincidence, right? There are a lot of people tying this in with the Bible and doing all kinds of things. But here's the core thing that I think is really important, regardless on your interpretation, and that has to do with maintaining your mental stability throughout all of it.
Like I said, we haven't been trained that way. We've all gone through the public school system. We've been trained to think in boxes. We've been trained to, specialize within a job. And so when things go wrong and they're outside of the norm for us, we have a hard time adjusting to that. And it doesn't matter how many books you have that'll teach you how to do something. If you're not trained to think through the process, it's going to be difficult even to put those practices to use, even put your resources to use.
Now, whether it's April 8th or ongoing, a big part of keeping free from the matrix is being grounded in your own core beliefs.
What we have to do is we have to get to the place in our lives where we are willing to sacrifice our old beliefs that we already know don't work on the altar of some new possibilities that could produce a different outcome. I promise you that is the hardest thing you will ever do.
All this mayhem is obviously by design. They're taking advantage of different situations, and you know that they do it each time.
But the system needs you to struggle. It needs you to fail. It needs you to be sick. It needs you to be broke. It needs you to be misinformed. It needs you to be fearful. It needs you to have anxiety. Why? Because that's the only way that it can control you. The system will pretend to protect you in order to control you so that you, like the children of Israel in Egypt, will continue to gather straw, make bricks, to build the kingdom that enslaves and imprisons you.
You need to be able to react with that muscle memory with how you trained. And I think it's good to train mentally as well to these mayhem points and how you think, so that instead of being reactionary, which will tend to bring up subconscious routines that have been hijacked from the matrix, instead you are intentional about what you're putting forth. And so that your language even doesn't change and you don't slip back into these old routines and suddenly get slipped back into the matrix of way of thinking.
So when you look at the suppression of information, truth anyways, the suppression of awakening the dormant abilities within the physical body, and they do that through many things. They do that through medicine, right? I'll just say that. Through a lot of different ways. They suppress the body from decoding the information because, like I said before, everybody has body and access to all things, just like everybody, let's just say that your body's a computer, so everybody has access to the internet. So if you want to control and limit the access of information of everybody having access to the internet through the computer, then you would start to self-sabotage and limit certain aspects of the hardware within the computer. So even though it has access, it can't really access it in the way that it truly is meant to access it.
Now, it's all there by design, controlling our food, controlling our air, water, all our resources, getting us to actually get at the core kind of hardware of our being. Because it's from there that, although there's a subconscious routine, we do have choice in what we do. And so I think a lot of it is to attack those subconscious routines so that even though you are free to make a choice, your choices are actually contained for you. So I think it's important to intentionally slow down and really re-engage, to meditate or whatever practices you do, to make sure that you have those front of mind, so that when occurrences happen, you are intentional rather than immediately reactionary, because those subconscious routines can still be there and fired upon. Now, one way I've found really helpful to keep core truths alive and to expand upon ideas and to create community and share with others is with video. And if that is of interest for you. Check out the link in the description for a workshop, a very simple system for using video to relay ideas and increase your skill in communicating with a tribe. Check out the link in the description for more. The Matrix, I think, relies upon that subconscious routine kind of being buried back in there. You never really got it out. You just moved it away, but it can be fired back up again in an instant. And so to move away from that in a conscious way is to pay attention to what happens in the mayhem and making sure that there is an intentionality with how you think, with how you react to things that come up. So it's much more something that is from what you believe rather than from what they want you to do.
And our connection to source is intuition, empathy, and imagination. And everything that is about to unfold from April 8th on forward throughout the year is absolute. You can be absolutely immune to it if you understand those fundamentals. Your connection to source is by way of intuition, imagination, and empathy. And that you can insulate yourself from the chaos around by simply willing the oversoul to offer you the very protection that you've been denying yourself because you thought you were guilty.
Especially being grounded in what we truly believe, not from what culture is foisted upon us or any of the garbage that kind of is foisted off as news. It's important to go from the core truth rather than the reactionary that keeps us trapped. And so that's why I want to say, watch out for April 8th. Not because I think it'll be a big deal, but because it's that slow eroding of our own truth and our own convictions. And it's that erosion that happens through these events. They look natural. They look like they're intended from somewhere else, but it's all by design. So, watch out, keep your core, and stay free. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a like. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.